Hi, this is David Ritchie, Editorial Director of the Bonnier Marine Group. In the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you the edit planning process our titles will be following in 2012. The process is not a huge departure from how we've planned content in the past, but the three key differences are important. The first difference is that this year's plan is going to encompass more than print. We all know that our jobs are getting more and more complex as we're expected to grow our brand and disseminate content through digital and video and print and all sorts of different mediums. And so to do that, we've begun planning for it, and as we've done that, our teams have begun to think beyond print. They've begun to grow their social media followings, and they've launched new revenue generating programs as a result. The second point that's going to be different this year is we're going to be doing our planning in Google Docs to streamline communication and collaboration among the edit, sales, marketing, and digital teams. In that way, it becomes a living document available through any internet connection or mobile device, and we can use that daily, weekly, and monthly rather than treat it as a corporate assignment that we complete once a year and put on a shelf. And in doing so, we will be able to create a suite of documents that allow the brand teams to manage their print production, their rights administration, and their digital work plans as they execute their content plan in a cohesive way. This is becoming more important as the active interest network grows in scale and as new licensing and syndication opportunities pop up every week. So here's an overview of how the process works. It starts with a game plan, which I'll drag up to the top of the screen here. The purpose of this document is to plan out the brand strategy across print, digital, and social media, in events and any other related venues, and to improve the communication and collaboration among team members as the plan is executed. This is the master document where the edit, sales, and digital teams invest considerable time annually as we develop a strategic content plan and editorial budget. We also use this document as the backbone of a monthly Brand 360s, where all segments of the team, edit, art, sales, marketing, and digital, come together each month to review the past month's performance and to refocus our plans for the next few months. So the game plan is set annually, it is refined monthly, and it's updated daily. It is truly a living document that keeps all segments of our business on the same page. Let me show you how that works. The first thing I want to point out here is on the instruction tab, there are indeed instructions. And I'm not going to read them here because I wrote them and I don't need to, but they are important, and I'd ask that you take a look at them because they explain how the document is constructed, the parts of the document that could stand some customization and the parts that should not be customized. The first thing that you'll want to do is establish your department list or architecture of your book. This is critical to get set first before you begin implementing your content plans, because this section right here in the green drives not only the tabs in this spreadsheet but also in all of the other documents I'll share with you momentarily. Mentioning green brings up a good point. In all of these documents, just remember that the green cells are the cells that should be changed. The white cells are usually formulas or links, and they should be left alone. Once you've understood these instructions and you've got your architecture in place, you can just drag this instructions tab way over here out of the way so that it's not the first tab you see every time you open the document. That leaves the next tab as the strategy tab. Now, we all know that we have a bunch of documents probably sitting out there on the X drive somewhere that tell us what our mission statement is and go through our tone and voice and all that kind of stuff. But if we'll go out and find the most recent versions and copy and paste them into this document, it makes sure that we've always got that information front of brain so that all parts of our sales, marketing, and edit teams can be sure that we're on the same page as regards our brand promise. Now down here you'll see I've got an area for 2012 initiatives. In the Marine Group, most of our brands set aside some time each year for the edit, sales, and marketing team to go away, do some brainstorming, and come back with some plans that they want to implement in the coming year to grow our business. This is the place to document those plans to make sure we can keep focused on them throughout the year. If executing those plans requires some specific resources, video camera perhaps, this is the place to identify those resources so that they can be accounted for as we complete our annual budget. Again, this tab, once you're complete, just go ahead and drag that guy out of the way, and then for the rest of the year the document will open on your 2012 Year at a Glance tab. Now this tab, like most of the others, the content on this tab is driven by your monthly content plans. So we'll go to the March tab where I've input some dummy copy. I've input a theme for the month as the Florida Keys. I've put in some stories, some pages, and the amount of money we're going to spend on those stories. And then down here you'll notice I've also put in our plans on digital media. I've talked about what we're going to do and the enhancements with our iPad edition, and I've talked about what we're going to do in social media and on the website and e-news, etc. Obviously, as always, it calculates your M&I spend and your cost per page. And the information on this tab drives your print summary, which is something we're all familiar with from past edit plans. And it also drives this year-to-glance tab where it puts kind of the print highlights right up here, while also putting your digital plans in place. So this is a nice matrix that you can look at and essentially judge how your brand is planning across media for the entire year. The information that you put on the monthly tabs also drives this summary tab, which you'll probably recognize as the budget that we turn into Cayman each August. A couple of important things to note on this document. The first thing you're going to do is, as you develop it, you're going to want to share it with your staff. So go up here to the share button and you simply add the people on your team, sales, edit, marketing, digital, etc., that you would like to add. And you save that, and now they'll get an automatic email letting them know that they have been shared, the document's been shared with them. The other thing that you'll want to know is that you'll want to set some notification rules. Not only you, but everyone on your staff who wants to be kept abreast of changes to this edit plan can set a number of different ways to be notified. Personally, I prefer to learn when any changes are made in an email every day. So in the morning, I get an email letting me know what changes have happened to the plan, and I can interpret how those impact me, and then I can go on about my day. So let's set aside the game plan for just a moment and bring up the second sheet, which is the production tracker. Now, the key thing about the production tracker is it is linked to the game plan, so your content plans for each of the month's issues comes from the game plan. You'll note it automatically pipes in this information, but the area in the middle is completely customizable. Every brand tracks production in a different way, and these columns can be changed to any types of headers that you want. We can add columns. You can hide columns if you don't need this many. And down here at the bottom you can put target dates for any of the major gates that you want to track. You can obviously put in your production dates that you want to keep track of, and you can use this little calculator to help in your book size meeting. But the key in the production tracker really is this column here, column N. This is where, as the magazine comes to fruition in the production process, a lot of the times our digital plans begin taking form. And so this is the place where you want to put your specific instructions to your digital team. Whether that means that you want to have keywords, you want to put geotags for a fusion table, you want to have a friendly URL, or make sure that you have a video that complements the story. Perhaps you want to assimilate some context from your archives. This is the place where you make those notes. You don't need post-its, you don't need emails. Anything that you need to get to your web editor related to a story in an article can be noted here, and he'll get that information. We'll set the production tracker aside for a moment. And as the issue is complete and you begin to close that issue out, the rights administration document becomes more relevant. As you'll see here again, the content plan for March has been piped in from the game plan. You see the same story list that we saw earlier. On this spreadsheet, we're able to come in and identify what type of contract was signed for this particular author, whether any of the key clauses has been stricken from that contract, and we can link to the actual contract PDF, which is very handy when we're working special deals and we need to go into a little bit more detail about what rights we do and do not have. You'll notice that I've got an area for about 4 contracts per story. That number could easily be reduced or expanded if we need to do so. And you'll notice that the information here has allowed the managing editor to color code these stories. The green signifies that we own all rights to that piece of content and we can use it however we want. The yellow tells me that though we don't have all rights to it, all of the pieces of the content are covered by a new contract and the clauses are intact, which means that we can syndicate it, we can license it. The red tells me that there's something about this piece of content, one element of it, that precludes us from using it, either digitally or in any sort of syndication. So we can't do anything with that content. And then over here on the right, you'll see that we've got an area for syndication and licensing. And over in the Marine Group, we've recently signed a deal with Navionics, where we provide our content through their iPad and iPhone apps for download, and we get some of the revenue. So to help us with that program, the managing editor has thrown a link here to the actual PDF of the article, so it's very easy for me to come in and grab the article when I see that it fits our licensing criteria. I am part of a team that's executing some of these deals, and I can tell you that this combination of quick color coding, additional detail when it's necessary, and the PDF that we can quickly grab is critical in executing on these new revenue streams. And without this sort of cohesive tracking of rights, we're kind of groping in the dark. So I'm looking forward to getting this type of information from our team in the coming year. I'll close this document now and bring up the last piece of the puzzle, and that is the digital work plan. Now this document draws in several different elements. Up here you'll see that it's drawing in from the game plan the big picture thinking that the editors had in place as they tweaked their plans for the issue. Down here you'll see that it's drawing the specific instructions for the stories in that issue that came to light in the production process from the production tracker. And here you'll see that we have a link to the rights admin tool, so that if the web editor has any questions about what we can and cannot use from that issue, he has a really easy way to find out. So in one place we've gathered pretty much everything that the digital team needs to execute a content plan that is cohesive with and supports our print product. Here on the digital work plan, they take all of that knowledge and then they can plot out their weekly plans, what keywords need to be optimized, when print content's going to hit the stands, how we want to get our e-news scheduled to support that, a good schedule of blogs so we can schedule out that rotation, if social media contests that would be relevant to the print plan, how we're going to rotate our home content. And down here obviously we can track notable performers, so if something really resonates with our audience, we can make note of that and we can replicate that and leverage that again in the future. So that's a quick overview. I know that's a lot to take in and that these docs are a bit complex for those of you who are new to Google Docs or new to Excel or both, and they're certainly not a perfect solution. But like anything else, the quality of the input will determine the quality of the output. If you put in the effort to keep these documents current, I'm confident the payoff will be there in time saved and revenue gained, and I'm sure that if nothing else, these docs are going to help you keep the sales team off your back. Most any question they ask you, you can answer by saying it's in the game plan. And I have 3 teams that have been using this process for the last 6 months, and in every case those teams unanimously endorsed this and cited it as having helped them improve their brand's performance in 2011. And if you'd like to hear more about their experience with this process, I'd encourage you to contact Robert Goyer at Flying, George Sass at Yachting, or Mark Pillsbury at Cruising World. If you need any help implementing these docs or customizing them for your brand, or if you have any ideas on how to improve them, please don't hesitate to contact me or launch a discussion on Yammer. Thank you very much for your time.